CX5. It's a 2016 and this is 2024, so it's 8 years old. It has a rather obvious problem. The door latch has failed. To me, that is a serious safety issue. So if you're wondering how we got the car here, it was like this. Bungee cord. Ta-da! Now at least the door can still open, but good enough for a short drive, not on the freeway. So today I want to thank UCanic for posting this video on YouTube. It's going to help us get this door lock actuator out. Of course it's quite a long thing, and I'll videotape our experience with it. Okay, so we were removing this little rubber piece that's in the door handle, and as you can see there's a screw hidden underneath. This one's a bit tricky. I think that this part has to come out like that. Dropped it, and yes, there's another screw right there. So this has to come off as well, because we've got to be able to lift this whole door panel at some point, so we've got to take this off. Okay, there it is. So there's a few clips back there that we're getting off, and we'll just remove it, just like that. Yeah, so I know this has to come out so you can get the lock cylinder out, so I've got a putty knife under it, so hopefully, yeah, it comes out easily and no scratches. When you're looking through that hole, you can see the torque screw that has to come out. So that's not that bad. Right, so the little plastic bodge tool wasn't strong enough. This one didn't seem to really be hitting in the right places. I'm going to try the crowbar. Wrapped it in tape on this end, so hopefully it's not going to scratch paintwork. So right about here, I moved it in and sort of pulled it backwards until it hit something, and then it started freeing up the clips. Let's see if we can pop a few more. There's one up here. I'm sure there's some up front. Yeah. I've got all kinds of stuff falling out. Yeah, there's another one right at the front here, and I bet there's another one right about here. This is sticking in. There we go. That's enough. Now it's hanging, and we've got to lift it. But before we do that, we've got to get the glass in the right position. The glass, because we've got to take the glass out while we're doing it. So before we disconnect all the electrical bits, I've set this to 4 inches, which according to UCanic is like halfway between 3.5 and 4.5. So hopefully we've got the glass in the right spot. So it's got to be here. Okay, so this bit's a bit of a struggle to actually lift it off. If you can come around here and disconnect a bunch of this stuff. So to get the door handle out, you just pull it and it kind of goes out through the inside like that. So there's 2 connectors down here that are holding this panel on. This is for the switch gear, the window switch gear, which is why we got the glass in the position it was in. Okay, so I've got one of the connectors out. There's a little tab right here on the back that you push in, and then you kind of wiggle it side to side and it pops out. This was meant to come out like it shows in this hole here. So coming over to the door, or the cover, this is where it came out of, and you drop a new one in at the top here, and it's supposed to look like this one right here. So we may have to get a couple of replacements, because I see a couple of other places where it just pulled out. They didn't pull out, they just broke. The next step is getting the glass out. There's 2 of these. Hopefully this putty knife will allow me to get in and pop this little cover off. No? Doesn't want to come? Oh, here it goes. Oh, great. And there's a 10mm right there, which is why you had to position the glass beforehand, because now the power's gone. So there's 1 screw. This is for the window. There's the other one. So now we'll remove the glass. Right, so lift it, tilt it forward, it comes out past there it is. And we're going to put it in the trunk on a towel. So now we're going to take all the screws out around the plastic panel. I've loosened them a bit because this screwdriver doesn't have that much torque. So I've got to help it a bit. And then I'm going to go around and take all those out. There's a plastic rivet in this spot. I don't know why they did that. No, it's not doing it. Really? There we go. So you got to loosen the head up like this and then pull out. Plastic rivet, love them. Okay, this one is for the window regulator. So I've already loosened it. There we go. So pulling apart the electrical stuff, it's always hard. This one I was able to push down here and that lowers that bump and that allows you to wiggle it out. This one you can push the tab here and it pulls out. That was actually pretty easy. Wow. Okay. But this one's got a red tab. Apparently you pull the red tab down. That allows you to push it in somehow. Really? And it comes out? Does it? Okay, so I'm squeezing in on this thing here. Then somehow it pops off. Okay. I hate these things. So on this one you've got to push at the bottom, squeeze it in, and then it just pops out. The speaker one you've got to push it about here and then wiggle it sideways and it will come up. Be careful you don't stick anything through the speaker because that will bugger it. There's a connector that goes into the motor, but it's on the back, it's on the inside, you can't get to it. So we're leaving that one in, it's going to stay there. Now we're going to see if we can pry this door panel out. Around the bottom. Pull it down because of this thing. Yeah, that's the window regulator right there. Big long thing. We're just going to put this inside the car. Like that. So we do need to remove this clip here. It's the type of Christmas tree clip where if you can squeeze them together, it should. So what I'm doing here to get that out, I'm pushing this little deflector in. It's not the whole thing, it's a small tab right there. And then if I can push that in and get this one over. Oh, damn. I got it just now. I'll have to do it in the dark. There's one. I've got one. So now I'm going to do the one on the other side. And there it is. It pops off. Wow, that was a struggle. See those little tabs on the inside there? That's what you're trying to squeeze in. Yeah, hard. So the lad's turning the key a few times here. And you can see that little cylinder in there that's turning. Yeah, this is why you have to take the lock cylinder out. Because that bit goes into the plastic housing that is the door lock actuator. So let's operate the handle. Let's pull the handle out. See that metal rod going up and down? Yeah, that's because we're pulling the handle. Apparently that's something we have to be able to get back in. Otherwise the door's just not going to open. That must release the latch. So I have the T2.5 in here. I'm going to unscrew it. Now, apparently if I don't think I have it out far enough yet. Maybe it is. And then I can somehow remove the cylinder. It's not coming out. Maybe it's this way. There it is. I wasn't able to pull it out, but Andrew has not got arthritic thumbs like I do, so he had to give it a good hard pull and it did actually come out in the end. So this is the big old number 3 screws that we've got to take out. I've loosened these two, they snap like that. It's perfectly okay for them to do that. Okay, so I think we're ready to pull this out now. There's a little tab here, you've got to lift up, get it over, and you lower it down, and there's that metal, oh, there goes my flashlight. There's that metal thing that was in here, right there, that came out with it. We've got a bit of a conundrum here. We activated the latch with the screwdriver separately after we've gone this far, and it works now. So what the heck's going on? Go ahead and give it a pull. See, you can't. Oh, now it opens the door. So if you close it slowly, there's two latch positions. That's one, and it holds. Now the door is holding. So I don't know what's going on, but now all of a sudden it's working. That's weird. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but we can close the latch like this, and now it holds until you release it with this, and it's all working properly now. It's got the two-stage close, so even if you only do it one, it does work properly. I have no idea what's going on. We did get the new part here. Apparently there's been a couple of revisions since the old one, which I think might show up in this part number right here. This is the old one, and there's the new one. The parts do look identical, so I'm not sure what the changes are. We will have to put this clip over on these cables, and of course we've got to change out this and put them on these ends of these cables. Get this out, pop the housing out, and you turn it until it lines up. There's actually a slot in the handle, and then it pulls out.
Yeah.
So you put the leg in sideways like that, drop it all the way down, and then just turn it, and then this will pop into the lock. So that's one cable swapped over. So this one is the manual lever lock thing. There it goes, dropped it in, pulled up and popped. This one's already pulled out. It pulls out fairly easily, but I want to do it in exactly the same position. You can slide a bit, but we want to make sure it goes in the same way. So there's one cable in, two cables in.